We are addressing our space crunch problem by constructing more classrooms. God willing, our enrollment will cross 2,500 students by the next academic year. Mehta's Adventist School, Newswood, has preserved its heritage, enduring the odds on its furtherance. There are 898 students studying in the school, with 170 boys and 155 girls staying in the hostels. Out of the abundance of goodness and the generosity of friends and donors, the school is enriched and equipped with educational tools to provide a richer learning experience. This year too, the school has excelled in volleyball, football and badminton tournaments at different levels. The Mehta's President's Fund helps the economically weaker section students to continue their education and provides for their basic needs too. Mehta's Adventist College, Surat is the pioneer college of business management studies with a total enrollment of 826 students. Affiliated to the Northeastern Hill University at Shillong, Meghalaya, the college offers BBA, MBA and BCom study programs with a certificate course in Tally with GST. 8 students of the college were among the top 10 in the recent university examinations. Our students never returned empty-handed in the intercollegiate co-curricular and extracurricular activities. The college departmental clubs engage students in knowledge-based learning exercises and community-building projects to make them thinkers and not mere reflectors of others' thoughts. We congratulate our 3 faculties, Dr. Mohan Rao N. and Dr. Anil Kumar CH, and posthumously Dr. Job Dondapatti for successfully completing their PhDs. We are also happy to inform that 3 more faculties have enrolled in the PhD program. The Mehta's Adventist School of Nursing has presently admitted the 38th batch of GNM students. Alongside classroom instructions, they engage themselves in clinical postings in the hospital, camps and community service. A vibrant campus of Mehta's Adventist College, Ranchi, offers A&M, GNM, PB, BSc Nursing and the BSc Nursing program with a collective strength of 340 students. Blessed with sound infrastructure and well-equipped labs, the students have the best learning experience from the best team of tutors and clinical instructors. They consistently shine with excellence and outstanding performance in both scholastic and non-scholastic events. The recent Student Nurses Association witnessed an outstanding performance of skill and talent in sports as well as soft skills. Good things are happening on the campus through community building and environmental protection. Mehta's Adventist College of Nursing, Newswood is the only BSc Nursing college in the town of Newswood, having an enrollment of 243 students. By the grace of God, a good number of students passed with distinction in the years gone by. Students are co-partners in government, welfare and other community programs. They actively engage in bringing awareness against diseases and promote a preventive healthy lifestyle. They are exposed to research activities and sent to participate in conferences and seminars to update their knowledge and nursing practices. Research and development is taken seriously at Mehta's campuses. Faculty are actively engaged in paper presentations at the state, national and international conferences. Several books have also been published by our faculty in various disciplines. Mr. Sanjit Prakash was awarded the title Young Researcher. Mehta's Adventist Hospital, Surat is one of the oldest yet the modern medical institution of Southern Asia Division. Serving since 1923, the hospital has grown from an insignificant clinic to the present state-of-the-art edifice. Known for its excellence in quality service, this NABH-approved facility has seen 73,434 OPD patients and 11,042 inpatients. To its already vast scope of services, the hospital is granted permission to set up a renal transplant unit. There are plans for setting up a liver transplant unit in the near future. The hospital is also a certified teaching hospital for the DNB program in general medicine. Other courses in the pipeline are the CPS in gynecology and the Indo-Australian critical care course. Healthcare has become more accessible and affordable to the public with the introduction of government schemes such as Ma Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, etc. Being recognized for its quality service, the hospital was awarded Best Hospital in South Gujarat by the Times Group, My FM channel and other regulatory bodies. For the convenience of the campus residents, staffs, students and patients, an ATM is installed within the hospital premises. The Mehta's Adventist Hospital in Ranchi is improving. It has seen 11,922 patients and treated 6,591 so far this year. A total of 1,006 major and minor surgeries were performed. The eye department is picking up well. 3,000 OPD patients were seen while 131 were operated. Health camps were conducted to help the people in rural and remote areas where healthcare is not accessible. The new ICU wing is a blessing to the hospital and the community. A new software installed at the pharmacy makes inventory and management of drugs a lot easier for the pharmacy department. The operation theatre is now functioning with modern LED lighting system. A new scan machine was purchased for the department. For the benefit of the majority, the hospital is envisaging a tie-up with Ayushman Bharat PM Yojana scheme in the future. American Hospital, as it is still known today, Gifford Memorial Hospital, is inching towards its 100 years of service in the town of Newswood. Since 1925, many seeking respite from their ailments walked into its portals, experiencing healing from the great physician. This year, 897 OPD patients were seen while 6,581 patients were admitted with 229 surgeries performed altogether. 1,478 patients were seen in the eye OPD while 220 patients were given a second chance to see through successful surgeries. The GM Hospital in Newswood is undergoing a massive expansion program that will see the addition of new wings, new equipment, and the construction of 4 new operation theatres. Furthermore, additional accommodation is being built for the staff and the doctors. A cemented road around the hospital is laid, making the pathways more comfortable and easier to maintain. The hospitals at Ranchi and Newswood are working towards acquiring the entry-level NABH accreditation. There is a pressing need to build new hostels at Newswood and staff quarters. A new 750-bedded super specialty hospital is planned in the Ranchi campus, which will be taken phase-wise. A new nursing block, hostels and staff quarters will be taken up simultaneously. The Lord has heard our prayers and granted us permission to establish the Northeast Adventist University at Jowai, Meghalaya. The IBE has graciously granted us permission to start 6 programs for the year 2020. Much is to be done and a lot more to accomplish for the Lord before we can rest. I beseech your prayer in uplifting Mehta's for his ministry. May the Lord bless Mehta's as we continue to strive to be a center of excellence in education and healing. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon to one and all. Clearly, the things that's transforming is not the technology. The technology is transforming you. I, Surbhi Subdan, on behalf of our President and CEO, Dr. Elia Shikakoli, I would like to welcome you all for today's webinar. The question that will always be asked is, why is digital marketing important? In April 2020, there was an estimate of 4.6 billion active internet users around the world. On the other hand, social media users were recorded to have been 3.8 billion. This number shows that more than half of the global population is currently online. More and more consumers are going online, and it's for this reason that many business owners are transforming their business online as well. Similarly, businessmen are finding new opportunities in the world of e-commerce. So, this past few years, the importance of digital marketing has grown too. It's no longer just a choice that business owners make when they want to target new audience or if they want to do something new. If people all over the world populating the internet, digital marketing and digital marketing services like branding are now a crucial part of business growth. So now I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Ranjita Bhovik Shastri, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, to continue the session.
Thank you, Surbhi ma'am. I,
Ranjita Bhaumik Shastri, Assistant Professor, Mehta's Adventist College. Your MOC for today's national webinar is gratified to all the participants for joining us. Eric Pearson very well said, it's no longer the big beating the small, but the fast beating the slow. Our very acclaimed and respected resource person for today's national webinar is Dr. Yesha Mehta, Assistant Professor from Thakur Institute of Management Studies and Research, is going to elucidate us with her expertise on the topic digitalization, branding you. Dear participants on Zoom platform and on YouTube Live, please pay attention to few of the instructions. Keep posting your queries, doubts, and questions on YouTube comment section or Zoom chat box to get it addressed by our resource person. Please note, number of questions to be addressed is subjected to time constraint. Feedback link for the webinar will be posted in YouTube channel comment section and Zoom chat box during the question answer session. And question Submission of feedback form is mandatory to procure participation certificate. I would now like to invite and hand over the time to Mr. Ranjit Prakash, Assistant Professor, Mehta's Adventist College, Surat, for offering prayer.
Let's all close our eyes for prayer. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful morning. At this time, as we submit the speaker into you, Lord, as we take the session, may you bless all of us as we attend the national webinar. May you bless every participant. May you bless every organizing team. May you bless the technical part. May everything go well, and may we witness the best out of the knowledge which is going to be shared by the speaker, Lord. May you bless her so that she can give everything what she has so that we can implement and make our daily activities easy, Lord. We pray that you bless our president, may you bless all the subordinates, may you bless the staff, the faculty, and the students, Lord. Be with us throughout this day, and may this webinar session go successfully. For all these blessings, we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Ranjit sir. Without keeping you wait for longer, I would like to now invite and hand over the time to Mrs. Meeti Dhupia, Assistant Professor, Mehta's Adventist College, Surat, for introducing the resource person for today's national webinar.
Thank you, Ranjita ma'am. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miti Bhandari Dupia, Assistant Professor at Mehta's Adventist College. It is a great pleasure for me to have the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker, who's going to talk about digitalization, branding you. It's with deep pleasure that I present to you the speaker for this webinar, an individual who has affected change and whose action shows that she believes in taking out strong positive outcomes with creativity. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Yesha Mehta, who is the Assistant Professor and HOD of Marketing Department at the Thakur Institute of Management and Studies and Research. Dr. Mehta also currently serves as a lecturer at Sarvajanik College of Engineering and Technology. The speaker is a faculty at National Group of IITM. Dr. Yesha Mehta is an experienced assistant professor with a demonstrated history of working in the educational management industry. She is skilled in marketing, digital marketing, consumer behavior, e-learning, and instructional design. Aside from her talents and advocacies, she has written and published numerous research papers and case studies. On a final note, she is also a fascinating individual, and we are grateful for her presence among us today. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Yesha Mehta. We welcome you amongst us now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for such a warm welcome. Thanks to Mehta's Adventist College. My special gratitude to Dr. Elia sir, Dr. Anil sir, Mohan sir, and Sham sir, and all the faculties, for making it such a pleasant moment. I once again thank my institute, Thakur Institute of Management Studies and Research, who allowed me to take this, grab this particular opportunity and take it forward to the next level. Thank you so much. So, are we all okay? Is everything is audible and everything is perfect? Can we please start up with the session? Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would want to share my screen. Okay. So today's session is more about the digitization, that is branding you. The first question, which we would want to ask all the audience and the dignitaries who are present is, according to you, what is branding? If you were supposed to define branding according to you, what it would be. So for this particular thing, you need to go to swiftpolling.com and enter the code 23796. Once you enter up over there, you will be in a position to start, your answers will pour up over here. So what exactly is the branding? Swiftpolling.com, enter up a code 23796. Okay. You can associate words, you can associate with colors, you can associate with various other things. What do we mean by branding? Cool, that's nice. So it's creating identity of a company, positioning, that's nice. Let it keep coming, let it keep coming. So I'll again say swiftpolling.com and enter the code 23796. Okay, so a symbol or a design, that's nice. Promotion of a product, a set, that's nice. What is branding? An image, that's nice. Promotion of a product. Labeling, okay. Okay, it's an identification, nice. You can even associate with the human being. You can associate with the brands which you use. You can associate with the colors. So do you feel Amitabh Bachchan is a brand? That's branding. Mehta is a brand. That's nice. When we talk about a goodwill of a firm, it creates an image in the market. The mission statement and talks about Nice. Any more points coming up? Any more pointers? Come on. Okay. Perfect. So when we say brand, we say that, okay, so there are still pointers coming up. That's nice to see that. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll stop, the poll so that we can move forward. Seeing of the answers, whatever answers, each individual has tried sharing it up, we can then say that when we talk about branding, it's classically a reason, as in why we choose, as mentioned by Cheryl Burgess. Okay, so branding is all about a reason, as in why do we choose a particular thing. We move forward. Another thought question which I would want to put you up. So just take up a pause and think about it. How would you like to be remembered? Okay, just think for a moment. How would you like to be recommended? How would you like to be remembered? What are you trying to be remembered for? Come on. So it could be either your name, company, or a brand. Classically, what do you want them to talk about you? What do you want them to say? I'm sure people will answer this question in a matter of seconds, though others may take almost a lifetime to find it out. Do you remember when only celebrities and major companies had personal brands? Actors, musicians, Fortune 100 companies and athletes got all the attention and dominated the airwaves. However, all of this has changed now in this particular digital age. Do you ever think about someone like Oprah Winfrey and wonder how did she do it? What did she do to become such a prolific personality? And she's not only the one, by the way. We have Virat Kohli, Sri Sadhguruji, Richard Branson are all larger than life characters who own their own individual spaces. Not only that, but they seem to have secured their positions of influence. I'll tell you what, there's no black and white answer to how they did it. Some would say they were lucky enough. Others would say they outworked everybody else. They gave their best shot. And that's exactly why they are known today in the society all over the world as a larger brand. I'll admit that these are two crucial pieces of puzzles, but there is one more critical common denominator, and that is personal branding. I'll just go through the chat messages. Okay, perfect. So there are no chat messages. So when we talk about personal branding, let me begin by saying that also for those who want to be known as the GOAT of entrepreneurs, he could be a motivational speaker, an influencer, or an individual who spends the time volunteering and contributing back to the society, a person who wants to share their journey with the world. If you want to have an influence on the world, developing a correct brand strategy is certainly the best way to start up with. So when we talk about what exactly is personal branding, we say personal branding is a practice of marketing people and our career as brands. It's an ongoing process of developing and maintaining a reputation and impression of an individual, a group of people, or it could be an organization for that matter. In a layman's language, we can then say that personal brand is how we promote ourselves. It's a unique combination of skills, expertise, and personal traits that we would want our followers to see us. So in a normal language, when we say it's the digital language, we can then say that it's our online reputation, how people or what people think about us while we are present on the digital forefront. So according to you, why we need to brand ourselves? Come on, let us see that if we have any answers coming up. Why we need to brand ourselves? Any specific answers? Why we need to brand ourselves? What is the purpose? What are the advantages? What is that particular thing as in which makes us to brand ourselves, in it could be in our corporate career, it could be in our personal life. Thanks, Parvez sir. He mentions to differentiate from the others. So if we want to differentiate us from the others, that's exactly why we brand ourselves. Any other answers coming up? Create identity. That's nice. Thanks, Tushti ma'am. Okay. So according, to the classic thing, when we talk about the major pointers, so going through the various pointers, what we've done is we've jotted down few points which are the most important in, this particular VUCA world. So the very first one happens to be everyone looks the same in their CVs or the resumes, be it a graduate student, be it a postgraduate student. You talk about, your, being a professor, or it could be, being a corporate individual. So everyone looks almost the same in their CVs or that particular resume. So what is that particular point, which Parvez sir was trying to mention it to us? What is that differentiating factor which makes us stand out, from the crowd? The second point could be competition is getting very fierce, in this world. And for those particular reasons, if we don't differentiate ourselves, if we don't brand ourselves, then probably we're just going to be, a normal individual out there, in the competition. The third pointer could be for every job opening, according to the jobhunter.com, every job opening, 140 candidates are applying, and these numbers are increasing day by day. Okay. The fourth, another most important point is personal brands, they act as a differentiator. So the one point which we, that's a crux of the entire, webinar today. And that's more related to why do we brand ourselves. Okay. So in normal, we can sum it up by a favorite quote, by one of my author is Jeff Bezos. He says, branding is what people say about you when you're not in your room. So when we talk about what ideally we mean, if we had to translate this particular thing in a normal layman language, we can then say, we have a personal brand, whether we consciously build it or we do it unconsciously. People are going to talk about us no matter what. So personal branding is all about controlling the narrative. What exactly are people talking about us? It's about not leaving the success of the business up to the chance. So it could be that, we can't say that, there are people talking about it and we'll just leave it, on them to decide what they want to talk about us. If we don't take control of what's being said about us, our brand will be more vulnerable to the misinformation. In case if we say that that's not a problem, just take a look at how many people report reading fake news on the social media. The recent one, which I would want to share it in Mumbai, when Mumbai police restated just yesterday about the fine levied for the mask in the second lockdown. So there were, rumors happening up. They took up an initiative. They went onto the social platforms and they made it a mention that there's nothing of, this particular sort happening up to create, a balance in the society. Okay, so that's what why personal branding becomes so very important element. Now, when you're talking about why does the existence of the brand onto the digital platforms, they matter so much today in this particular 21st century. Well, look up from your screen you are currently on. We are all constantly either using our computers or the smartphones. Most of us engage with the world through the lens of the internet, which makes it very essential for every one of us to create an impact, be it a marketer who's trying to reach out to the target consumer, or an individual who wants to reach out to the recruiter of his favorite dream company. So people want to work out for Google. How do you create an impact onto the recruiter who's looking out for that particular position? You want to get connected to maybe Sadhguruji. How do you want to create an impact on that individual so that they identify you, they recognize you as a brand? So again, to sum it up, we can then say that managing online personal branding is the most important thing today. So what we are going to do is now is we're just going to decide on a roadmap which will help us to have a better online personal branding. The very first point could be define up your X factor. Okay, so what exactly is the X factor? Pick something specific that you can do better than 90% of the world. Why is that so specific? Because you can probably do a lot of good things, but that doesn't mean you are expert in every single one of them. If you remember that particular quote which we said, master of all, jack of none. Jack of all, master of none, right? So jack of all, master of none. This is not exactly what is, what works out today in the digital world. The only way to create a personal brand is becoming the go-to recognized authority on a specific topic. What is that one particular thing which you are good at? What is your, advantage? What is your, that particular point, which probably, most of the individuals out there would not have it. And if you're not an expert on something, like say for an example, if you're just a fresher, so don't get afraid to go small, or just narrow down on a particular topic. It could be that you play guitar very nice, you really sing well, or it could be you just love cooking. Like my favorite chef is Abrar. Okay, so you see Chef Abrar shows, and then you will understand that how he talks, how he cooks, how he discusses about each of his cuisines while he's cooking up one particular dish. So the when we talk about this particular X factor, I would also want to make a mention of one of my favorite books that was written by Seth Godin. The book name is The Purple Cow. And the most important element, in The Purple Cow is that as a marketer, what is that particular strategy? What is that particular, a unique thing which will make your brand stand out, from the normal brands out there in the market? So just try and, if you get a chance to read that particular book, please definitely do that. Okay. Unleash your super skills. So what are skills? Your skills could be maybe, communication, or it could be, you're very good in terms of problem solving. You're very good in terms of, writing skills. So communication, it could be somebody would be good in verbal, somebody would be good in, drawing, or somebody would be good in, writing skills. Somebody would be good in oratorship. Okay, let me see the message. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so people with strong brands, if you see, they are very clear about who they are. They know and maximize their strengths. So we also do it for us. So ideally, if we want to do, we want to unleash our super skills. It could be starting from, so if, say for an example, there are a few skills which I mentioned. Take a pause and just think about it. What are those skills which are actually wanting to have it in you as an individual, which will make you a superhuman? What are those skills? What exactly you would want to, achieve? What are those skills? Try identifying it. Okay. So while we have thought about it, it could, the very first step in doing this is, let us first document it. Ask normal questions if you cannot think of, ones. What are the strengths that others acknowledge in you as an individual? When faced with, an obstacle, what are your go-to skills to overcome it? I'm pretty sure that, the participants out here would have thought about, the communication skills. But in today's era, did you even think about the most important skill, that is crisis management? Indians are known for their jugaad, right? So we're talking about, crisis management skill. If you know how to handle up the things, that will, make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. That will act as a differentiating factor. What was the most successful project you have ever tackled, and what made it so successful? What was the most important role which you fulfilled, and why was it so very important for you? Once you have documented all these pointers, on a sheet of paper, or probably, you've thought about it, the second important step is to distill. Okay, to deepen up your introspection further, you can ask up the questions: what are my motivating skills, the skills that excite me as an individual? Okay, what are, my burnout skills, the skills which I've mastered but I don't use it on a day-to-day basis? What strengths and skills are going to be most helpful in achieving my, career goal? It could be, completing up my graduation with flying colors. The post graduation students would now say that we are looking out for fat packages. The individuals out there, the professionals, the research scholars would say that, we would want to complete our PhDs. The faculties out there would say that, okay, fine, we would want to ideally, write more of scopus publications. Okay, so what are those skills? What are the strengths which you have in you as an individual, which will help you to achieve your career goals? When we're doing this, the other important element which we not to forget is, what are the skills which are missing out in us? What skills I would like to build out, but have not yet had, the opportunity to practice. So identify those skills, based on your responses, to all the questions which you've just discussed about. We need to document our X factor. So once we have done this, the third and the most important, step is we validate it. So how do we validate it? You can check with others, as in like whether they have also experienced the super skill in you. Do they agree with your assessment? Ask your friends. It could be your professors out there, the others who are there in your brand community. It could be your colleagues for that matter. Ask them whether do they also really think, your super skills are the same one which they think about you. Okay, compare your responses with that particular self-assessment. If it matches, then you have known your X factor now. But if it doesn't matches, then it's more for you to think that what is that special element in you which is gonna make you the Superman. Okay, we move one step ahead. So once we have identified what exactly is our X factor, the second step to our roadmap is understand your Y factor. So when we talk about Y factor, it's pivotal to designing a career plan that connects with your values, the passion, and the purpose. When you are living in an alignment with your values and integrating your passion into whatever you do, you are excited, engaged, and totally unstoppable. So the first question, which we need to ask is, what exactly is my North Star? Now, if you know what exactly is the North Star, the ones, who sail, or probably if you know at all what exactly is the North Star, so while you are moving around the globe, North Star is one particular star which doesn't change up its own position. So it is there, so North Star is very important specifically to the sailors. So similar ways, when we talk about what is our North Star, that means what is exactly our value systems. Your value could be, being honest. It could be, having faith in the system. It could be the consistency, or it could be teamwork, or it could be excellence, collaborate, personal growth, participation. There'll be a lot of values, okay? So what exactly is your value system? Once you have your value system, see to it that you follow your passion. What is that particular thing which you love about? So there are a lot of individuals, who are passionate and they are successful in their life. Okay. Passion is there, but passion with purpose. They'll empower, they'll inspire, they'll encourage you to take up one step forward. Passion, the classic examples could be, the god of Indian cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, or it could be, Chef Brar. It could be maybe Mary Com, because they have loved their passion, they have lived their passion, And that's exactly why they are known today in, all over the world rather. Okay. So we have seen X factor. The second, what we have seen is, our Y factor. The third important element is Google. So Google you as an individual. Okay. But before that, let me ask you this particular question. Now let's see. So again, you're supposed to go to swiftpolling.com, enter the same code 23796, and tell us, so throw some light. Which platform do you use for socializing? I'll again repeat. Which platform do you use for socializing? Go to swiftpolling.com. Do you use for socializing? Others? Okay. Nice. Okay. That's nice. So we have Facebook. We also have LinkedIn. That's good to see that. We don't have Twitter. We don't socialize over, Twitter. Okay, the research scholars. Come on, don't you socialize over ResearchGate? Instas. Okay, so Insta is really winning up, on the social platforms, if we see. Okay, so there are a lot of individuals who says others. I guess if I have not mentioned Snapchat. Is it that I have not mentioned Snapchat and that's the reason why the others bar is constantly increasing up? Insta. Okay, that's nice. Oh my God. So Insta is really winning up the market. Oh my God. Okay, let us see. Perfect. Any other individuals? No, no LinkedIn? Really? Swiftpolling.com. The code is 23796. Okay. 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 So your professor out there, Ranjita, is saying that socializing physically, maybe, not digitally. Okay. Perfect. Wow, that's nice. LinkedIn is taking up its speed now. Okay, 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 okay. Let's move forward. So I'll just stop up the poll, or I'll let us, keep it going. And once we can again come back and we can see our results. Okay. Oh, so see, the results are improving. Now we have more of LinkedIn. So I guess your professors have started, or, the professionals out there, they've started, polling up. Okay, that's nice. That's nice to see that. Okay. So when we're talking about, the Google You, so chances are you are already using social media. If you're using social media, we use it in variety of ways. The lightning speed with which internet has changed the way we communicate has created vast advantages as well as some drawbacks when it comes to maintaining a positive and a consistent personal brand. You've got your story figured out. Before you go full throttle in shaping up your personal brand, you need to audit yourself first. The story that you want to tell has to be aligned with what's already out there. The simple, test is to do a search engine test, or it could be a LinkedIn test. This is all about cleaning up your online presence. You want the best version of yourself to be out there on that particular web. If there's anything negative, now is the time to take care of it. You also want to pay attention to the social media profiles that turn up in the results. Decide on which particular social media accounts you are going to focus, and delete any old accounts if you have, the ones which are not longer, no, you're not using any longer. Also check out the image results that turn up for your name. So in that case, if you type in, say for an example, so why don't we do that? We'll just do it and we'll see whether we are really on the right track or not. Okay, so I'll just share the screen. Okay. And let's go and just check. So what we'll do is, okay. So what we'll do is, we'll go over our LinkedIn. Okay, let us check on our LinkedIn. So say for an example, this is our LinkedIn page, and we would want to ideally go and search out for, say for an example, we are looking out for some positions. Okay. Mm, okay, so how about this one? A research analyst. Okay, or it could be, okay, research analyst. Perfect. So we say research analyst in people. Now, when we type in research analyst in people, which are those individuals who are gonna come on the first page? That's basically Googling or searching you as an individual. So if you see, there are very few individuals whom I know I'm connected to, they are not there on this particular, my first page. So that means someone out there working as a research analyst, they are really not coming up on my screen. Maybe while I put it up as in locations, or maybe is in, in the current company, then they'll start, getting reflected. So how about, so Goldman, okay? So I'm pretty sure who's going to come up on my screen. Okay. Oops. And here the invite doesn't turn up. So somewhere out there, we need to understand, we need to identify that what exactly or what pops up, on our screens. We can take up another example for that matter. So if I want to search up, say for an example, for Yesha, okay? So if I'll search out for Yesha Mehta, that is not going to be, because there are thousands results which are going to pop up. So what we'll do is we'll take up quotes, okay? And then we'll try and search it out. Do you see that? So if you see the images, I'm not the one. If you're talking about over here, oops, I'm not the one. If you see out here, yes, here I come, and that's more coming up when we talk about, Google Scholar. So in that case, my LinkedIn is really not active, but my Google Scholar is. So what is my purpose? The purpose here out is I want to stand, I want to portray myself as a research scholar, more into research, okay? And the best, another thing is, we just saw it down there, and the one which is happening up currently, the live, okay? And that's more related to the our webinar, okay? We go ahead down and then we say that, okay, we have, P interest over here also, but that's not me as an individual. So the point over out here is that while we are Googling us up, what is that particular thing? What exactly, or who are we as an individuals out there? Depending upon that, we'll come to know that whether we have portrayed our right image or whether we have, been unsuccessful in portraying our image. Okay, so that's the third step, that we need to Google ourselves. So we have seen our X factor. We have tried and understand about our Y factor. We've also tried and figured out where do we stand. The fourth important step is create and curate an engaging content. So content is, really taking up its own, content is really taking up, things like if you see, it isn't option anymore. There's no online world where content isn't on, the front and the center. It could be blog posts, it could be videos, the podcasts, or the social media post. We need to keep providing value to every other platform which we are using up. So creating engaging content means taking a fresh approach, to the types of updates you share with our network. So don't get scared, don't be afraid if to occasionally talk about your own achievements. Maybe the ones who have, got their doctorates, they can talk about it. The ones who have completed up, during this pandemic, the individuals, a lot of, students out there, there are a lot of individuals who went on Coursera or who went on Swayam as a platform, and they've completed lot many courses. Talk about it, talk about your achievements out there. It could be the engaging tidbits, even about your personal lives. That's absolutely fine. It could be the promotion which you just recently got after the pandemic or during the pandemic. After all, social media, if you see, it's all about individual first. Sharing some of this particular information would give a glimpse of who you really are and what you are about. But just ensure that you don't overshare or make it all about you as an individual. It could be even if you would want to talk about your employer, make sure you access your company's social media guidelines before doing so. So I'm aware that there are few companies who encourage their employees to share their content, but there are other companies also who are very strict, and they prohibit their employees from advocating their brand. In case if you would want to do that, you can always contact up your HRs, for the more information. Also, we can say that the more unique and engaging content you create on your chosen topic of the expertise, the more you will have your followers and they'll start taking you up as a leader in your expert field. If you see, overposting generally leads to a lot of fatigue and annoyance. You want to keep the lines of communications, open with your audience, but you also don't want to overshare so much that you look desperate out there. The best option is posting somewhere around, 3 to 4 times per week for a participant or for an individual. There'll be days when you don't post, and that's absolutely fine. It's not necessary that you are supposed to, share it up. When you're talking about the content, you'll see it later, but I would want to make a point over here. What about those individuals, who are probably, not so good in the content? So how do you develop that particular content? How do you curate that particular content? Or how do you curate, create a content? See to it that, you read certain blogs, you follow some companies. If you'll see, there's, the beautiful ads pop up on your LinkedIn when we're talking about a specific brand called SanDisk, which is more of, your pen drive brand. Okay. It's more into the storage capacities. So if you see their images, ideally what happens is they'll keep up images, which are clicked photographs, so beautiful images. Now, in that particular advertisement, in those advertisements, they'll not say anything. They'll just put up that particular pic, okay, and they'll leave it aside. So the important thing is that you can comment, you can share, you can use that particular pic, and you can comment over that particular pic that how nicely have they done. You can even talk about some companies, during certain social causes, they support certain social causes. So ideally what you can do is you can share up that particular content. If maybe your icon or maybe your role model or the individual, the personal brand whom you follow, they have put up something or the another, you can reshare it and by putting up some thoughts of yours. So just don't normally share it up, but see to it that while you are doing it on LinkedIn, you write or you support up with your points, and just don't support it up blankly. Just support up with either facts or figures. The another way, if you would want to create up that particular content, could be, say for an example, you're reading up some article on, Mint, or you're reading out article on a business line, and you would want to, put up your opinion related to that particular article. You can do that as well. So it's not that, the individuals who are only good in creating the content they can share, but the ones who are probably, they can search out, they can follow people, they can understand that what's happening up, even they can share that particular content. Okay, so the important step is the content. So we need to see to it that we are creating and curating engaging content out there. Let's take one step ahead and then we say, what is the fifth step? The fifth step is meet valuable connections via outreach. So when we talk about what connections are we talking about, we generally say that it takes an entire family to raise up a child. So we are going to need, this particular entire force with us, which are going to help us share our story and build that, powerful brand you. So personal branding demands, a personal element in general. And some people may advise you to connect with people out there in a specific industry. So somebody says that I would want to, work out for pharma sector, or somebody would say that I'm looking out for, working up in an insurance sector. So I should just go and get connected with people out there only in the insurance sector. But, I say, make connections with people irrespective of their industries. You never know what value someone might bring to your business in the future. It could be also that, you can do that. You can, reach out to people by finding and joining up certain groups. So Facebook and LinkedIn, both of these platforms, they offer thousands of opportunities to join groups focused on specific industries, or it could be a specific topic for that matter. Use the search bar on each or either of these networks and look out whatever your area of expertise is. You will be able to use this particular thing to share up your content, to share your insights, build the authority, build the perspective regarding your own personal brand. So when you join up these social media groups, the one which we discussed, it could help you to expand your skill sets. It will, help you to get connected to those individuals, to showcase, what knowledge, or probably you get follow, you follow up, the industry, information out there. Maybe it could be discovering out the new opportunities. So there are various advantages to it. Once you are a member of this particular special media group, or whatever group you would want to ideally join, don't be afraid to jump into discussions. So people have this thing that, should I post it up, should I comment over it, or maybe if I'll post up something or the another, people will not like about it, or people will talk, they'll not take it that very nicely. So just don't get worried about it. It can be very difficult to remember sometimes that what social media is all about. So it's absolutely fine if you do that. Just try. Don't get scared. Just try once. If you simply join a group also and then don't participate, you won't get any benefits, because ideally, either which ways. So if you just join it and then you don't comment over it, you don't discuss, you don't participate, you don't do anything over those particular groups, you are just one of those numbers. So see to it that you are participating. Okay. Also, on the other hand, when you show, okay, so you show that you are responsive, and this will help you build your personal brand, in larger communities beyond your own individual community. So if there's one beautiful book which has been written by Porter Gale, and she talks about that your network is basically your net worth. How many individuals, are connected to you, and depending upon the number of the individuals, what exactly is going to be your value out there in the society. So find and join as many groups as you can, but as per the area of expertise. So till now, what we have done is we have defined our X factor. We have tried and understood what exactly is our Y factor. We have done a little bit of test on us. We've tried and understand that what exactly type of the content which we are looking out for. While we already have the content, the next important step which we have seen is that we need to connect. We need to network out, with people out over there. The another important, element is find an influential mentor. Okay. So when we talk about mentor, so mentor is classically, the individual who's going to help you, who's going to guide you that, okay, fine, So if you see, there's no as such thing, that self-made successful person. It's just a myth. If we see, we human beings, we need help from someone somewhere at some time, in their life. Similarly, becoming a recognized expert in a field can be incredibly, challenging at first. And you will eventually need, other big name brand players in the industry to recognize you as an expert, which will further help you to pull yourself along until you can reach to that particular top. Ask for recommendations over LinkedIn, so when there is a specific column in case of a LinkedIn which says that, recommend. Okay. So recommendations, generally you'll see that, there are a lot of people who keep on recommending. But before asking for one, you also need to give one recommendation to that individual, the individual whom you know as in you've worked with those individuals. So it could be like, so when we talk about the importance of a mentor, I'll even quote up this example wherein when you talk about Sachin Tendulkar, he keeps on saying that his mentor, the individual who made him what he is today in the world. You talk about maybe we talk about Richard Branson. He talks about that, who am I as an individual. So all these elements, all these individuals, they are successful out there today in, the world, because they had a mentor in them. Okay. We move ahead and we say that what is the next important step? So while we have done each and every bit of whatever we could, the another important element is consistency is the key. Keep your brand, the voice of your brand, the image and tone consistent over all the platforms. So it shouldn't happen, this is, taken up from one particular, Hollywood movie. So it shouldn't happen that, we are very cool dude sort of thing on Facebook. But at the same time, when you go on LinkedIn, you are that sophisticated individual, or else while you are on a Twitter, probably you are, that angry young man. So it's very hard. We can understand that once you're in the online age, it's very hard to have a consistency over all the platforms. We are all used to having, multiple personas. Maybe we might be geeky, we might be shy, with few group of friends, with other individuals, we might be very open. Okay. But the important thing is, from a branding standpoint, this is a big problem. We like to believe that what happens on Facebook stays on Facebook, but this isn't, true anymore. The more jobs, or the more important the jobs you are seeking, the more there will be probability that your employers or recruiters, will search out all over the web looking out for you as an individual. If you have made any crass marks on Twitter, or your Instagram feed reveals your questionable behavior, that's not going to do your brand any favors. So sticking to your defined persona is very important. We'll like to share one example, a colleague of mine, okay? So having somewhere around 25 to 30 years of, work experience. So he was just giving up an interview for, a personal hygiene brand. I'll not name the brand, a personal hygiene brand. He was just giving up the interview. So the interview went really very well. Everything was absolutely, like flawless. Everything was absolutely fine. Once his interview was being done, ideally what happened is the interviewer just moved up his laptop screen, and showed up his image. So he opened up, his Facebook page. Over there on that particular page, he was talking about, so he was talking about women in some not so promising ways. The only point which the interviewer made was that, sir, if you really think about women in this particular way, then probably, we are pretty sure that you are not working for us anymore. So the important thing is, people are really looking up, to you. They are either on LinkedIn, rather, specific thing. So if you say, for an example, if you're going for with, on a Goa trip with all your friends, so you have those pics of yous, with, you're just having your gala time. At the same time, if you're looking out for, a specific position in a particular company, please make it sure that they are going to go on Facebook and they are going to talk, search about you as an individual. For that matter, it could be even your simple WhatsApp, profile pic, the DP which you're putting it up. So if you're looking out for a particular job, you never know that individual, because you have sent your CVs, you have sent your resumes to, those individuals out there. They can just put up your, number, they can save it up, they can just have a look on your profile pic, your DP would talk 1,000 words about who you are as an individual. So careful. See to it that everything. So we say that it is, the social platform, but social, at the end of the day, if you're looking out for a job, it's no more social. Okay. So make it a point that consistency has to be maintained on almost all the social platforms. In case if you want to have something, private, have a different, website. What you can do is, you can create probably, another page, and you can share that particular, ID or that particular page with only your family members. But then don't do it, under the public forum. Okay. The most important thing, the last and the most important thing is stay focused. Okay. So personal branding, it's not only a one-time show, it's an ongoing process. You will constantly have to see that how are you doing it, whether you're doing it correct or not, whether it's working out for you. If it's not working out for you, go back, think about it, redo about it, come again, and then see whether it's really working out for you or not. So when we talk about our steps to the roadmap, we have seen our most important 8 steps. Okay. I would want to leave you on, this particular note, which has been, quoted by one of my favorite, author, Tom Peters, and he says that we are CEOs of our own companies. The name of the company is Me Inc. To be in business today, our most important job is to be head marketer for the brand called you. Encourage you, as an individual to tell story that people, can find themselves in. That's where exactly it starts. Put your energy into the building blocks, craft your vision, control your narratives, execute on that particular vision. It doesn't take much more than that. Your personal brand will be a remarkable force because, just because you took up your first baby step. That's all from my side. Any questions, I'm all open for the questions now.
Thank you, Dr. Yesha Mehta, for illuminating and explicating us with your pool of knowledge. Good questions inform, but great question transforms. With this quote, I would now like to hand over the time to Mrs. Tushti Bakrania, Assistant Professor, Mehta's Adventist College, Surat, for addressing the question answer session.
Thank you, Ranjita ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yesha ma'am, for sharing and enlightening us with a deep depth in knowledge on digitalization and branding here. To move forward with our events, now I would like to know that, ma'am, we have few questions on Zoom platform. Would you wish to answer that?
Yes, ma'am. Why not?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to call Ms. Riva Narayan from Ms. Padicom to ask questions.
Hi, Riva.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Okay, ma'am. In point number 6, you explain find an influential mentor. Who is your influential mentor and what he or she taught you, which is still with you?
Okay. So, there are various platforms on which, we generally meet our mentors. One of my mentor whom I met, recently. When I say recently, it's not more than 3 years back. And, he created a lasting, effect on me as an individual. I don't know whether, have you heard, have you guys read about this book called The Catalyst?
I have heard of that book.
Huh?
I haven't
So
read
what is,
it.
who's the author for that particular book? The Catalyst. Come on.
I don't remember.
The Catalyst. No Googling. No Googling.
Yeah,
You can't Google.
I have heard about that book and it's on my read list, but I haven't read yet.
Okay. So, the most important thing was, his Mr. Chandramouli Venkatesan. And I just met him in one of, during one of my seminars. And when I met him, he changed the entire way, wherein I take up my sessions or, so he classically talked a lot about that, how do you bridge the gap, so as an academician, all of us, we are very much aware that it's always bridging up the gap, industry and academia. But he was the one who gave me one point, which really changed my perspective, which really changed my approach. So I consider him as one of my mentor. There are other, along with that, there are other mentors also. One of my mentor is, Dr. Jimmy Kapadia, who happens to be, director of my alma mater. And he has influenced, it could be Dr. Hemlata Agarwal, or, my professors out there. Today, I feel that whatever I am as an individual, or whatever I have achieved, as an individual, it all goes to each and every other individual who was influenced out, over there. Riva, I'll be not, it will not look good on my part when I don't give credit to my students. So it's been a very long journey. Each and every student out there, so there are still students who's maybe my first batch. So I started my journey over here with Tim Sir in 2010. I am still in connect with those individuals. And every point of time, I tell them that you have been a mentor to us. You have been a mentor to me. That's one particular thing, which has changed me. So I'll say that's not one individual, but there are lots and lots of people, who have influenced me as an individual today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so we have other questions.
Yes, ma'am. The next is Grisha.
Hi, Grisha.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, so my question was how personal branding mix and a branding mix for a firm would help us. Like if we are talking about the personal branding, so how it would affect our thing in business.
Okay. So say for an example, Grisha, you are a postgraduate student, you are a graduate student?
I'm in second year.
Second year. Second year, can you just, so can we take up your example so that it becomes a little easier? So, which particular brand you would want to go for? Dream company.
In finance, like I'm likely pursuing CFA.
Oh, so HDFC? Now?
Starting my own firm.
Starting my own firm. Wow, very nice. So just imagine. So that's a great entrepreneur. You'll not believe, we out here at TIMSR, we also have one of our, the most important element, and that is, creating entrepreneurs out there. It's a very difficult job because when you say entrepreneur, it's like you need to have, an HR in you, a finance in you, a marketing in you, an IT in you, maybe a funding in you. You have to, shell out money from your own pockets. So we'll just take up your own example. Say for an example, you want to start up your own firm. Okay. Now the point is that once you want to start up your own firm, and how will you get connected to people? How will you get your first click, or how would you get your first sale happening up? So maybe that will happen, through your personal, connections. So it could be either professionally, or it could be, it could be either, digitally, or it could be, through the offline mode. But at one given point of time, it might happen that, you are looking out for individuals now. You're looking out for funding. So as in when, you'll approach any other agencies out there, or the seed companies stating up that this is exactly what we are looking out for. The next thing which they're going to do is they're just going to search you as an individual. So if, frankly speaking, if you are want to pursue up your career in entrepreneurship, the very first thing which you should ideally be doing is not even creating a LinkedIn page, not doing a Facebook. So Facebook, you are there, but not creating a LinkedIn page. The first and the most important thing is make your own website. Okay, there are very easy, templates. There are very easy softwares. They are online. You can either use WordPress, you can either use Wix.com, you can go for Weebly. There are a number of platforms out there. Just make up your own website and see to it that your name comes out over there. So when you say Grisha Gurnani, as an individual types in over there, your website is going to come. So you'll have to work a lot on your website, but that particular website comes onto your page. Just imagine the first impression which you get for an individual, a beautiful website. All the details have been mentioned. You're talking about your passion, you are talking about what are your accolades, your achievements over a period of time. So that's exactly where it bridges out the gap. It says that, okay, fine, this is exactly what you were looking out for, and this is what you need to do. The individuals out there over the ones who want to work out for certain companies. So somebody would say that, okay, fine, I want to work out for HDFC Limited, who gives me a package of somewhere around 9 lakhs. Absolutely fine. But the important thing is, what exactly are the skills which are required for that particular profile? Have you mentioned those skills on your LinkedIn? Have you mentioned those skills, is it really getting reflected from your Facebook account? Is it really getting reflected, that, okay, fine, say for an example, you just mentioned up that I've, cleared my CFA, or I'm almost getting up to my CFA. Don't you feel that's a, additional thing? So while a company is out there looking out for a recruitment, they'll say that, okay, fine, Grisha has got a CFA degree and she wants to pursue her career in my company. She would be an asset for me. So, this particular, when we talk about the personal branding, is exactly, coming up onto the company's websites. The companies, the recruiters, they look out for that personal branding because it to differentiate. The most important element is differentiating. Just imagine there are so many graduates out there. There are so many postgraduates out there. How do you differentiate yourself? Because you're just like, them. So personal branding, when you do that personal branding, and that too onto the digital platforms these days, it will, make you stand apart. Yeah. Thank you for your question, Grisha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call Sakshi Jain for the
Hi,
question.
Sakshi.
Good
Hi,
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sakshi.
Ma'am, my question is, what are the limitations of digital marketing, digital branding, sorry?
Oh my God, there are too many limitations. The first thing is, when we talk about, the digitization, everything out there is, so, you need to be very creative. Because if you see, initially when we started up with, the digital, creating up the LinkedIn or, making up a page, everything is, there are a lot of clutters out there. There's too much of advertisements happening up. So how do you portray yourself as an individual? So that exactly is, one of a disadvantage. Another disadvantage could be, if you are not reading enough, if you don't know what's happening up in your industry, then it becomes really very difficult to keep a track of, or to probably, influence, or to create an impact on the recruiter, or to create an impact on, the society at large, that this is you as an individual. So you'll have to read and read. You will have to stay focused out there in the market. Okay. And the another important and essential thing is, it's so very easy. Any individual out there, on just your cell phone, they can just search out for you in fractions of seconds. So if you even leave, so maybe I'll request, or I'll suggest, Metas, to create some workshops more onto, your digital footprint. Where have you left your marks? And those marks, the worst part is, you can't, erase those marks. So if you have left your marks, probably it will create, a lot of problems for you as an individual. The recruiters might put up a question on you. There are a lot of my students, the very first thing, which the company tells them is, just go on your Facebook or थोड़ी साफ सफाई कर देना. So this individual just caught off guard. Is like, what do you mean by sir साफ सफाई कर देना? He's like, have you seen your digital footprint? It is so not good. It is not us as a brand. Please understand, you are representing HDFC, or you are representing a particular brand. And for those particular reasons, see to it that your presence, is really very good. So, there are a lot of, disadvantages, but these are just few of them. Another one could be with social platform, because what one platform would work for you, I'm pretty sure. So if Insta works for you, if you're, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're, into a more of a retail business, I'm pretty sure, Instas would work for you. But tomorrow, Insta will just not be there. So I'm pretty sure that you guys are, you students out there, you've born with digital, right? So it was already there. We are the ones who took up digital, who changed the entire scenario. So we have seen television black and white, we have seen color TVs, we have seen LCDs, we have seen LEDs, and now, we talk about, even our Doordarshan. And now we are almost onto the OTT platforms. So it is technology. It just gets changed day by day. At one point of time, somewhere around in 2000, we just were trying to have 2000, or if I'm not wrong, 2004 or 5 maybe. We were just trying to have an FB account. And today, if you see, I'm pretty sure the youth, the teenagers are not present on Facebook anymore. It's only the adults who are there on the Facebook. Okay, so it's just getting redundant. So tomorrow, like, so if you think that, okay, fine, we'll start up with an Insta today, maybe 5 years down the lane, or maybe 2 years down the lane, Insta would not be there. There'll be some other one, some other social platform which will come up. So, keeping up speed with the technology, and also keeping a track of what algorithms are getting updated on daily basis. So Facebook changes its algorithm, Google changes its algorithm. Every time there are some or the other upgradations happening up. So these are few of the disadvantages when we talk about, how do you manage up your personal brand on the digital front. Did I give justice, Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for answering me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now I would like to call upon Asta for the question. Asta, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, Asta. Good afternoon.
Uh, Ma'am, my question was how digitalization can change our life.
Oh my God. Digitization has completely changed. The classic example could be wherein we say that, that there's a beautiful, concept which is now there, and that is ZMOT. So that is ZMOT, which is zero moment of truth. Okay. So what exactly is a zero moment of truth? So if you see as an individual, while we used to shop, on the products, we used to see a television advertisement. We used to come to know about a particular brand. And then we used to go and step inside those retail outlets, see the brand. So that was the first moment of truth, because whatever was communicated to us, we were just having it in our own words, like it was just in our fascination, or it was just there out there. Okay, but we never saw that particular product. So the first moment of truth ever happened was in the physical outlets, when an individual steps inside. Now when we talk about the way digitization has impacted us, there is a zero moment of truth. So the entire communication channel is no more from television and individually seeing. There are there's a very web sort of a network happening up. We as an individual, we are receiving information from different sources, and that too at one point of time only. So before even the advertiser is advertising their brand to us, we are coming to know much before about that particular point. So that's the reason we there's a new term which has come up, which is zero moment of truth. That so the brand is not communicated, but you ideally you come to know much more about it. The second thing could be it becomes so very easy. So if I would want to ideally get connected to, say for an example, maybe Richard Branson, or if I would want to get connected to Ratan Tata, or if I would want to follow him as an individual, I can really do that. Why? Because the digital presence is there, right? I can really see that what exactly are his preachings, or what are his value systems, what are the new, what's a new content which they are sharing it up. I can follow that particular content. I can very well know that what's happening up. So that's another example. Come on, pandemic has changed the entire scenario. So the classic example could be us. Imagine you in Surat, me in Mumbai. We are just having one of our greatest, and there are lots and lots of webinars, because I've seen each and every webinar, the entire series of Metas. And it's just possible because digitalization has entered up. We could buy our products so very easily, everything else, so irrespective, in this most crucial times when we were facing up this particular pandemic, we were not getting panicked. Why? Because we were getting all our essential products at our doorstep, and that was just because of the e-commerce as a sector. So if you see, digitization, it has impacted almost all facets of our life. Yeah, Asta?
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Asta. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all for the day for question answers, ma'am.
Okay,
I would like to give time to Ranjita ma'am to continue the session.
Thank you, Tushti ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Yesha, for taking time and addressing all the questions patiently. I'm sure we all will agree that the session has encouraged us to work hard on branding our own self, because when you brand yourself properly and create the best version of self, the competition and the people competing you become irrelevant. I would now like to invite and call Mrs. Rajul Shah, Assistant Professor, Mehta's Adventist College, Surat, for offering vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ranjita ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks on this event. On behalf of Mehta's Adventist College, I, Rajul Shah, take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Yesha Mehta. Today's webinar was full of information and knowledge. I would like to thank Dr. Yesha Mehta ma'am for enlightening us with her knowledge and expertise. It gave great learning opportunity for all of us on the topic digitalization, branding you. Our sincere thanks to Honorable President Sir, Dr. Elia Shrika Kohli, HOD of Management Department, Dr. Anil Sir, and HOD of Commerce Department, Dr. N. Mohan Rao Sir, for their valuable support and cooperation. My special thanks to the organizing committee, teaching and non-teaching staff who have really worked hard to make this webinar successful. I also like to thank all the participants who assemble here for their kind attention. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Yesha Mehta ma'am for taking out time from her busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Stay healthy, stay safe.
So can I say something? Can I interrupt?
Yes, ma'am. Just a
Thank you
moment.
so much. Thank you so much, to Metas. So I've known, almost half of the Metas because that's exactly where my roots are. And so I belong to, Surat, okay, brought up in Mumbai, studied in, again, Surat, but then I've been, working out over here for almost, 12 years out there. So Metas has really helped me in lot many things. Special thanks to Priya ma'am for this particular session, and the entire organizing committee who did the dry run. Thank you so much. It was really great help. Thanks to the entire coordinating team. Thanks to all the students. Thanks to the management out there at Metas. Also, thanks to my institute, that's Thakur Institute of Management Studies and Research, my director, Dr. Pankaj Natu, my CEO, Mr. Karan Singh sir, my chairman, Mr. VK Singh sir, the COO, Ria Pai, everyone out there, all my faculty friends, my teaching staff, my non-teaching staff, my support staff, everyone, because we believe that we should have an attitude of gratitude. So thank you each and every individual out there who made successful. Thanks for that special prayer which happened, because I guess the prayers were being listened, and that's exactly where we are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
A very warm and hearty thanks to Dr. Yesha Mehta. Few announcements to note for participants. Please do fill the feedback form and submit without fail. Registration and filling up of feedback form both are compulsory for procuring participation certificate. Your e-participation certificate will be generated in next 7 working days, and links for the same will be communicated in Telegram group of this webinar. So participants are requested not to leave the Telegram group. Once again, a warm and hearty thank you to all the participants for joining us in both Zoom and YouTube live channel. Do subscribe our official YouTube channel. Stay connected with us to get more updates on our next lined up webinars. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Hope that each one of us will take the first baby step